99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM.
Well, you know the rules, and you know how it goes. It's a Monday. Continuing in the background. News night is over. That quirky voice is on. Go with me. But folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. We shall say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Well, hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. My name is Nana Ansah Kwao, the fourth Chief of the Little Republic of Edumasa in Akwamu. I mean, there are people who get upset because Edumasa is a republic. For what reason? I don't know. But sometimes I envy such people. If we have so much time, I wish I had that much time. But whether you're upset or not, that's the Republic of Edumasa. Be very mindful of that. And I call this show That's My Opinion. Our Monday evening ritual. Gathering of the open minds, and this is a conversation for patrons. You must have a certain heart to tune in. Folks, one thing I do on this show is that I talk about everything that happens every day. Could be anything, could be chieftaincy, could be presidency, governance, politics, spirituality, name it. I bring an opinion on it. But one thing I try to do is look at a different angle that hasn't been bashed and hammered too much. So that it's fresh, so that it's not too boring. An angle that maybe has been overlooked. And that's exactly what I'm going to try and do today. Hence, I've titled today's show, Regulation Anxiety. Regulation anxiety. Folks, recent current affairs, things happening in the news with regards to banking and financing is nothing but absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking, and every day we are told about who took this money and who took that money and things that were not supposed to be done. I mean, literally the minors were being majored. And then you ask yourself, how did all that happen? And it seems to be like a cartel from Bank 1 to Bank 2 to Bank 3, shifting monies here and there, and all Those who want to put their monies in these banks are now suffering. Now you and I would have to foot up the bill. Billions of CDs to make sure that they don't go down under. They need to rescue these people who saved at the banks. And then you ask yourself, how did that happen? It's still going on. It's still going on. I'm sure going further down the line, there will be many more banks that are going to fall. And they're going to come and tell us, how huge sums of monies were paid. And even banks that were running at a loss will be paying bonuses. People are living large and living the life of Riley. And this is a banking and financial sector. This is a sector that has to be audited, the sector that, has to be looked at. And yet, we are told 7 banks so far gone down under. And the taxpayer foots the bill and saves them. However, those who caused it don't seem to be in that much trouble anytime. Now, I'm not going to talk too much today because I'll need you to come in, and I'm picking it from a different angle. So I'm not really going to stay with the banking, folks. Because you see, what we do in the media is that when the news breaks, we chase it. Yeah, legally we are news chasers. But we chase the news. And then sometimes we're very myopic. So we just focus. So now it's the banking fraternity that's in trouble. So it's banking. Any semblance of banking, let's hammer it. So Men's Gold is a pseudo bank or not a bank or whatever it is. Look, let's put them in the blender and meld them all together. It's all banking and finance. Let's go. And then, a week down the line, 2 weeks down the line, it will not be banking anymore, but a different sector will come up. But folks, let us stand back. Today I want us all to stand back, as we always do on this show, and look at the issue holistically. Who was regulating it? You know something? Let's go to real estate. Now here we are, you and I. If you want to go and buy a house today, my goodness, some of the prices they quote is as if the house was built in Hong Kong or China or maybe Manhattan. The sort of, people who earn that sort of money, they can't even afford some of the houses we built here. And this real estate industry also booming. Folks, the real estate is also booming. They will go purchase lands. Sometimes they say they're purchasing the land for farms. The next 2-3 years, they will clear all the farms, or even if they ever started the farm, and then they'll start real estate, parcel the plots out and sell it in serious dollars. Meanwhile, you go and look at the original dogs and it was being sold for agricultural purposes. Somehow they will maneuver, change it, and then it becomes a real estate. Bring land guards, and sometimes even the landowners don't even have jurisdiction over these lands anymore. And houses has been spring up everywhere. Folks, have we asked ourselves, who is regulating the real estate industry? No, they are not in the news. No, it's not in the news yet. But who is regulating the industry? Regulation is just going. It has a mind of its own, and it's just growing. And everybody can buy a patch of land, get a mason, whether they are qualified or not, whatever it is. So far as you have the money, you also start a real estate industry. And they'll give you the explanation. Land is too expensive, materials are too expensive, so those bottom of the ladder, forget it. We are only building for those at the top. And we are told that we are running upside down about 2 million houses, yet still it's business as usual. Folks, who is regulating the real estate industry? Now let me take your mind back to Galamsey. Look at where it got to. We poisoned all our waters. They started destroying farms, destroying plantations. It was free for all, and millions of people just were let loose. Again, you ask yourself, who was regulating the mining fraternity? I don't know who was regulating it, but it got to a point where we had to now unleash the military to bring some sanity into the system, even though still, I'm sure it's not all 100%, but it had to get to a point where we brought in the military to be able to control it. Folks, somehow every sector it's outgrowing its regulators. All our sectors seem to be outgrowing the people who regulate it. Bank of Ghana is not equipped to regulate the banking sector. Folks, whoever it is that has to regulate the real estate industry, I don't even know if they are alive or not. Whoever it is that had to regulate the mining industry, look at how much it got to. How bad it went to. And nothing happened. But it doesn't even end there, folks. It doesn't even end there. With regards to regulation. Folks, even our churches, a place of morality, a place of peace, a place of comfort, solace, a place where we interact with our Maker. Look at what we have turned it into. Comic, money laundering, magic, name it. And most of them, so to the point where church is not a desirable thing anymore. You see somebody and they're a pastor, and they could be a very good pastor, but you just tar them with the same brush and put them in the same blender and mill them. And you ask yourself, who is regulating the church fraternity? Are we also going to get to a point where we unleash the military every Sunday from church to make sure that the pastors and priests are doing what they are supposed to do, because they hold a large section of society, a huge section of society? And religion is very powerful, folks. Religion is very powerful, and people literally put their hearts and souls into their religion. It is absolutely important that whatever it is that they are receiving is somewhat on the right path, whatever the right path is. However, you and I know that the church has fast outgrown whoever it is that's regulating it. So that's also on a free fall. Folks, that's also on a free fall. Education. Folks, who is regulating education? Whoever it is that's regulating education, have they checked how much population growth is? How many people are there? How many people need schools? We seem to be overwhelmed. Folks, every sector is overwhelmed. And so my point today in this show is to find out why it is that all regulators are stuck. And if we don't go back and look holistically and find out that the regulators should act, and we just get excited about banking, yes, the banking story will go. And then the next thing would happen. Who knows? Maybe education, maybe real estate, maybe in the church fraternity. But I'm saying we need to go back and check. What is it that is making regulators so anxious in doing their jobs? What is making regulators anxious in doing their jobs? You may know. Today it's just my opinion to say that I think we have a regulation anxiety. We are scared. We are frightened that we will do the job. And the most annoying thing is regulators never get punished. Regulators never get punished for not doing their jobs. They can go to sleep. They can issue permits. Whatever it is, they just don't get punished as much. But if I am talking about sectors and regulators, and I leave the media out, then maybe I'm being a hypocrite. But folks, look at the media. If you take the church, maybe in the next powerful thing with regards to communication and informing people and indoctrinating people, it's the media. Who is regulating the media? Folks, who's regulating the media? The media seems to also have outgrown its regulators. Folks, if you have a walkie-talkie that I can get a frequency, you can just apply for one and then start a radio station. People can apply for, frequencies, and they don't even have a microphone, and they'll be given a frequency. As and when they can get a few people together, they've also started theirs. The material on TV, the nudity on TV, and the times with which they will show it. Every other music video has got a half-naked person. Who is regulating the media? So, folks, today my question for us as Ghanaians and as patriots is that we shouldn't just focus just on sectors and sectors, but let's look back holistically and find out why everything seems to be falling apart. And it all boils down to the big question: who is regulating these people? And until we get the regulators to act, then what will happen? Because everyone will try and find a way, a shortcut. No matter where you are in this world, you would want to find a shortcut. The only reason why you don't find the shortcut is because the guy who will permit you to find the shortcut is scared that the regulators will come down on them. Folks, even our licensing systems. How many accidents would you have before the regulator withdraws your accident to say, look, you're a careless driver and therefore I'm withdrawing your license? Who's checking it? And until that time, folks, until that time that the regulators get up and do their thing, then maybe what's happening in the banking fraternity will be small. Because even with regards to health, the regulator was overwhelmed. And so as I'm listening to the banking saga and I'm listening to how everybody's getting all excited and, oh, the bank did this and the bank did that and the bank did it, every sector, even the church you went on Sunday. Folks, I've gone to church and heard certain things that I'm thinking, my goodness, this in the pulpit? And this is a church? Folks, you listen to things that are happening within the education sector and you're thinking, my goodness, this is education. This is the fraternity that has to build our next president and doctors and nurses. And so my question to you today, folks, not to hurriedly point a finger and cast the first stone. And yes, of course, why not? But we have a regulation crisis in this country. And until then, we need to get more papers for Evans and we need to get more papers and more information. Evans would have to extend Newsnight for 2 hours and just keep telling us about how the regulator failed and failed and failed. And no, worst of all, nothing was done to the regulator. In whichever sector it is, they walk free. You go to Lands Department, they will completely mess up and they will leave you, the guys who bought the land, to fight. They themselves will go scot-free. Today, my question to you is, why do we have this regulation anxiety and when are we going to straighten it? 0302 216 541. Who's going to be my first caller? Hello.
Hello there.
Yes, sir. Good evening. And who's calling?
Yes, this is Christian calling from Legon.
Let me hear you, Christian.
Okay. About the regulation, I really agree and see your sentiment. It's a fact because let's take, for instance, I believe the sports section, the GFA and all those saga and all these things, the later resolution of the GFA and other things, I believe is from the top. So it's working down from the top to the bottom, as you rightly said, education, the health, agri, business, everything is in tatters, meaning that there's no real regulation due to corruption in the system. So I believe everything starts from the top and the economy and level of education. That's what brings about all this bad regulation and application. For the laws, there are laws to regulate them, but they don't follow the rules, as I say. They don't apply the rules, because if you take the constitution, it regulates all these sectors, but nobody follows the right procedure. That's what's happening in the system. No implementation of the rules and constitution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, I know I've lumped it all up, but if I'd taken it just taken each sector and looked at the regulators on the sector, you would be amazed how big this issue is. You'll be amazed how big this issue is. I mean, look, real estate. I mean, that's one major issue going to happen. Who is regulating them? Hello, who's talking to me?
It's an interesting topic you brought this evening. Regulations. And I think that is the bottom line. We limit everything to the politicians. There are technocrats all over the place who are working, who we are not holding accountable. They go to education, media, real estate, banking, health. There are a lot of people out there that we are not holding them responsible, but we hold the politician responsible. Let's take, for example, the real estate system that you are talking about. There are people who are supposed to make sure that they give permits to people to build. There are so much, I can say without any doubt, about 70% of the buildings that we have, even in this capital, don't have building permits, but they built. So who is supposed to take care of that? If you go to our educational sector, for instance, the public sector education system, from primary school to JSS, they are not better off as compared to the private schools. Most people rather send their children to the private schools to earn their education or their admission into the secondary schools. Who is regulating that system? So as for the regulation, I think that the technocrats who are in the ministries, departments and agencies, we must hold them responsible, other than the positions that we always waste our time holding them responsible. Because they are the ones, they are always there. Whether NTP or NDC come, they will always be there. The technocrats are always there, and they are the ones who are messing up this our country.
Thank you very much. Let me go to Laboni and speak to Joe. Hello, Joe.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
What I would say is that the media should help us to get the right to the information bill. You see, because this mess happens is the politicians. When they come, the radio station, even you mentioned, when NDC comes, there are some people who go for the license. When LPP comes, then so the mess up is from the politicians. So what I would say is that let's all fight for the right for the information, because if the right for the information bill is there, anybody can enter into this banking sector seeking information. But since these are not there, the politicians are always playing around this. So please, let's use the media, everybody, because even before Kufuor time, they come, then because they benefit, Kufuor didn't do anything. Adames came, he didn't do anything. So if you want this nation to move forward, let's use this radio to the media.
Thank you very much, my brother. Let me go to Teshi and speak to Ibrahim. Hello, Ibrahim.
Yeah, Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
Let me know your stool title so that in future I will address you by that.
Oh, yeah,
you are just too much. But would you want me to give you a personal experience?
Yes, give me a personal experience.
Right.
Find out what's happening to regulation of sectors.
Years back, I would say 6 years, there was this gentleman who presented an act of, let's say, company registration to me. He wanted for me to do a statement for him to go to the Bank of Ghana for a microfinance company. And I looked at the capital. It was so much, millions. So I asked for evidence. He said, "Oh, master, you don't worry about that." I said, "No, but once you went to Registrar General's department, they would have asked for the assets representing the capital." He said, "Oh, no, as for Registrar General, you just mentioned the figure, they'll do it for you." I said, "So the assets are not there?" He said, "Oh, master, no." I said, "Then if you take this document to Bank of Ghana, you are not going to get your microfinance company approved." He said, "No, I've seen the Bank of Ghana people. They just need a statement from..." Nana, I could not, because Bank of Ghana, I held it like a sacred. But this gentleman, well, maybe on hindsight, I should have believed him. I said, "No, Bank of Ghana, I know them, they would never give you a microfinance license if you claim you have this huge capital, and it is not. It is just on paper.
Thank you very much, my brother, for that insight. This one, it's on WhatsApp, and it's from the one and only KSM. Nana, you were spot on. Nothing is regulated. It's a shame with TV. It's the same with TV. Anything goes on screen. You have hit the nail on the head. How do we build a structured, civilized society without effective regulation? Thank you for enlightening us. If only we will listen. Let me go to Taifa, and Neil is there. Hello, Neil.
Hello, Hannah.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying that, in fact, we do have regulation in the country. But one thing that is really failing us is our sanctions. We also hear of situations like this. Today, something in the media. Within 2 weeks, it just dies out. What happens to sanctions? In those days, even we used to have town council, tankers. They come around. They sanction you. We see all this filth and everything around on TV, everywhere. We don't have sanctions working. I believe if somebody is sanctioned, let's say a producer of a product or a music concert or something is sanctioned heavily, most of this filth will be dealt with. Our sanctions are failing us in this country.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Edmond is in East Legon. Hello, Edmond.
Yo.
Yes, sir.
Uncle, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to come in and wish you. I like you too much, and bro, you are doing good job for with the youth. What I want to say is like, I can see maybe it's like our law is not working in this country. I think so. I can see that if the guys are around down, maybe if you are wrong, maybe you smoke one CD, they can arrest you. Even if you get to court, they say they can jail you by 10 years or any year they like. And someone can take the whole Ghana money with the person who's still living around, walking all over around, going up and up and down. See, now, the vice president said they are going to build a house for police and soldiers and all over around. As for we, the youth who we are around, the kiosk boys, every day kiosk breaking is going on. If for now, if you like come to East Legon from Ajingano, coming to Baleshi, American House, they are removing all over those people, their kiosk breaking kiosk before you go to work, or Zerama, before you go and come, your kiosk destroyed. And they are not thinking about all over the youth, Kayayo, maybe we will build for you here, we give it to 20 CD, 30 CD, so that you can afford. They are not thinking about we the youth. And all over, guys, the kiosk, they are just cutting. You can't take them to anywhere because they don't see you, so they can destroy your kiosk.
Well, thank you very much. I guess if the regulations were effective, you probably wouldn't have allowed you to bring the kiosks there, so that's probably one of the things. But let me speak to Kofi Asante. Hello, Kofi.
Hi, Daddy. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Kofi.
And I know I'm for today.
Today I'm looking at regulation anxiety, something regulators seem to be overwhelmed in whichever sector we look at.
Very, very on top of issues, and you get my heart warming up every Monday, 7 p.m. Nana, wait a minute, the first place, I want to report a case to you. I was from Frafraha coming, and when I got to Adenta, amazingly, in front of me was a military saloon car. Somebody who was driving a saloon car, a military person. They were two at the front, the driver. They were all in uniform. Amazingly, they drove through traffic, and I was able to get the car number. That is GXX and X as in xylophone, the proper xylophone, not the xylophone media. So GX212-12. These military officers were able, in the presence of the police, they were able to drive through traffic. So I think I've done the right thing by reporting it to you. And now you take action on this. This is very uncalled for. Now to the matter of discussion.
And be brief for me.
It's really amazing that we live in a country that, as I sit here, I'm afraid for the future of our country. Why? Standards are falling and everybody's keeping quiet. Everybody's keeping quiet. It's my heart is bleeding. When I talk about the media, I can't think far. talk about the film industry, the health, the telecommunication, connectivity in our country is worsened off. And all of us, including the Ministry of Communication and everybody, the Chamber of Telecommunication, everybody is quiet. Who is regulating this space called Ghana? Anna, may God be with us.
May God definitely be with us on that. And then Ashiaman Ernest is waiting for us in Ashiaman. Hello, Ernest.
Hello, Nana.
Sorry for keeping you on the line, my brother.
No problem. Good evening.
Good evening.
My brother, in fact, this issue of regulation, I think we should educate ourselves. As you have started, I think we should catch up with the fire so that everybody will know that we must live as human beings. Another part of the issue you are talking about is that anytime government wants to regulate us, we become angry and curse the government and say all sort of things against the government. That is the people we are. So the government also wants to be like they are doing what we want. So they have left us to do what we want, and at the end of it, we are suffering. Look, sometimes I watch some of these television stations where they allow people who come to the station to tell us that they can make Sakawa money for us on TV.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. My brother, you watch these things and you are wondering, so is this human being who are educated that call themselves program directors and executive producers sit on a television station, allow criminals to sit on our TV, tell us that we should come to them and they can make money for us?
That's a shame. You ask, where is the regulator? Folks, that's how I want to broaden the conversation. If you just tuned in, I started with the premises of the banking that have gone bad, and everybody's saying, well, those Bank of Ghana did not do their job right and everything. And because it's the banking, we've all narrowed to banking. But I'm saying, look, let's step back. Let's look at churches. Who's regulating them? Let's look at media. Let's look at TV. Just as the last caller just said, real estate is another bubble ready to burst and probably cause the biggest scandal ever. Who are checking these things? But Paul is in Adenta. Hello, Paul.
Yeah, hi, Nana.
Hello, my brother.
I think our problem as a nation has been we making big men, in quotes, to know that they are above the law. And so they ride high above the law, and the law sits down there and it's not able to bite. That is all our problem. Because once the big man knows that, oh, if I do anything, the law can't take me on. Nobody can take me on. They do whatever they want and they go scot-free. That's what we're talking about. What is going to happen to them? If we start making the law bite the big men, they will act properly whenever they have the opportunity to take action or do anything.
Thank
so
you.
I think we must let them know that the law is above all of us.
Thank you very much, my brother. Regulation anxiety. How are we going to get out of this? Because nothing, no sector, folks, is being regulated. And then a banking for the above. Sorry, Baba, you know, a great sector. We need, if you knew how much poison these farmers are using, this mikobo spray, it's so poisonous and it's very, very ripe. But when you are in Accra, well, who's going to spray in Accra? But when you go to the hinterlands, folks, they are buying these chemicals, these poisons, and they are just spraying the small weed. Instead of them just hoeing it off or cutlassing it off, they'll just spray this poison on it. So one day, that bubble too is going to burst, and I'm going to come here and ask who was regulating it. But Ben is in Accra. Hello, Ben.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Surprisingly, in Ghana, we have all the laws. I should say most of the laws, except the digital revolution that is catching us by storm. But apart from that, we have a lot of laws. For instance, rent. You shouldn't take beyond, is it 3 or 6 months? People are taking 10 years, people are taking 2 years, 4 years, and we are all just sitting aloof. People are building, and if you build in front of your house, it's supposed to be reserved for walkway, pedestrian walkway. People are renting it out, putting kiosks and stores all over the place. So nothing is actually being regulated. Now the banking sector has taken us all by storm. Now we have very, very influential, so-called influential people in society that are just messing up with money. You give them money to fund to give the bank that they are already in some capital to work. Then they will transfer that money to go put up another bank. You know, so many things are unregulated. Though we have the authorities there, the FDA is there, the standards authority is there, yet we have a lot of fake products in the system. We have electrical products coming in, standard authorities there, they'll tell you, oh, it is a porous borders, but it is not true. Some of these things pass through the borders. Then you have the FDA, alcoholic products here and there, all kinds of aphrodisiacs, unregulated. And how much will it take the FDA, for instance, to go to the shanty towns or even the stores where they sell these things to just test them? If you test and realize that the content is not good for human consumption, but until somebody dies, nobody is going to take any action. So the question is, how are we supposed to live in a society where you have people paid with our taxes, supposed to work? They will tell you they don't have vehicles. But some of these people have vehicles that drop their children off in school. But when it comes to the actual work, they tell you their capacity is less.
Thank you very much. And I like the passion. Nana, you have said it all. It's sickening and disheartening. We have every law in our country, but the enforcement and punitive actions are not being adhered to. The regulators always go unpunished. Nothing seems to be working. Personally, I don't think Ghana has a future with this attitude of ours. Yogi, Edmonton, Canada, all the way in Canada. But down here in Dome is Andy. Hello, Andy.
Ghana, good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah. I wanted to just listen and not make a comment, but I just couldn't help it. Most of the comments that my fellow callers have made, they have elaborated the problems. But you see, Nana, the question that we are asking this evening is what has gone wrong, the regulators. And for me, the answer is patriotism. Patriotism. If I want to take Ghana very far, I see Ghana to be a good country, I'll fight for it. If I've been hired to be the policeman to ensure that the right pesticides are used, no wrong television, and so on and so forth, I'll do it with passion. And when I sit in my office, I'll do the right thing. Then, our children cannot sing the patriotic song anymore. So Ghana worth dying for. If Ghana is worth dying for, we will not be selfish and all. I think we should go back to when we are patriotic. When I see my leaders, my president, my ministers, my pastor being patriotic, Ghana will come back to space until the patriotism, civic education on our television starts going up again. I'm sorry.
And you know, patriotism is one of those things where you imbibe in the youth. You have to, infuse it in them. It doesn't just happen. You can't just be born and say, I love Ghana. No. The love has to be put in your heart. Let me go to Teman. Joseph is there. Hello, Joseph.
Yeah, no, good evening.
Good evening, boss.
Yeah, I think we thank Joy FM for such topics because you're always the pace setter. It's very sad that
if you position yourself well, your line seems to be cracking.
Yeah, I mean...
No, I'm still losing you. Oops, try again. Joseph, try again. You're trying to make a good point. 0302216541. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Who am I talking to?
This is Julian calling from Pantine.
Let me hear you, Julian.
Yes. This afternoon, my friends and I at work were discussing about the leakages to the taxpayers' money because we believe that Ghana makes a lot of money and all our developmental projects like the free SHS and things like that could have been very easily to do. But it's because of some technocrats sitting in some ministries who just draft things and then they present it to ministers and then they sign and they wreck a lot of money over invoicing and a whole lot. It's very sad. People think that politicians can change what's going on in Ghana.
I want to tell them this evening on your program that it's not the politicians, but it's the technocrats who are sitting in these regulatory bodies wreaking havoc to our state. Good evening, Ghana.
Good evening to you, my brother, and thank you very much for calling. Patience is in Ashiaman. Hello, Patience.
Yeah, good evening, Anna.
Good evening, Patience.
Do you know, I think all this thing is about the fear of God, because if there is the fear of God in every human being, we do things right. But you know that when I do this to my brother, this is what will cause. But look at us. I live in Ashaiman. In front of my store, there is this pole over there, and then the pole is about to fall. I call ECG, and they tell me our poles don't fall just like that. And that pole will fall and kill somebody. Who is regulating? It's because we've seen blood. We are like, nothing concerns us. Everything is like, oh, then you see someone throwing rubbish on the street, and you tell the person, and he will ask you, you see, we the citizenry, we have given the leaders those kind of opportunity. A leader must serve, but we are now serving the leaders. So what is going on? So we can't blame our leaders so much. Ourselves, what are we as citizens doing to help this country? We don't have the fear of God. Everybody does what he or she pleases and goes away scot-free with it. The poor are suffering and the rich are always enjoying.
We could have gotten the fear of God from the church, but the church is also not regulated. So if you're not fortunate to get a good church to go to, you probably end up worse than you even started. Let me go to East Legon because Godwin is there. Hello, Godwin.
Hi, Nana.
Hi,
Long
Lord.
time.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Straight to the point. Everything happening is starting from the top. And I don't believe in, call it patriotism and what.
God, let me interject you a little bit. Can you name one sector and you say, look, Nana, as for this sector, it's solidly, the regulator is on point?
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't have it. Because I can just talk about agri, like you just mentioned, transport, view. And the day the president of Ghana will say that, look, Galamsey should stop, they will work at it. If it is affecting them, they will work at it. They take the decisions. We are not ready to let them take those decisions. Why? Because we still vote for them. And that is where our problem is. You buy land, it gets lost. You buy car, you still can maintain the car will never get lost. What's the mystery behind a car moving up and down will get lost? A land sitting at one place with all the GPSs locating the land, yet get lost. The president must be held responsible. Thank you. Good night, sir.
Thank you very much for calling. I really, really appreciate it. Hello, who's calling?
Yeah, it's just from tonight. I'm back.
Oh, good. A better line, yes.
Yeah. Is it not these ministers who go to UK, US, when they come back, they say in US it is worked like this. You go to Germany, Australia, Canada, that's how they do it. Why can't we also do it in Ghana here? Nothing seems to be regulated properly in Ghana. When you take, let's say, through a petroleum, for instance, when the world price goes up, they increase it. When it comes down, they refuse to reduce it. I mean, we are in a country whereby if you know somebody or your uncle is a big man or your brother's friend is a big man, then you say true. But when it's otherwise, then they don't seem to help you because you don't know you or who knows you. That's why we are suffering in this country.
In fact, as you mentioned petroleum, my mind has just been drawn. Who even regulates petrol stations? They seem to be springing up like sweet toffee shops.
Like that. All of it. I mean, 200 meters. Then you see another service station.
There's petrol stations everywhere. Thank you very much. But who even regulates petrol stations? Well, that's one thing that we should even ask. Who regulates these things? They just keep springing. And you go there and there's one attendant and she's sitting there bored out of her head because no car is coming, because just down the road, there are like 6 more stations before you get to this. But Samsung is on the phone. Oh, sorry, the line dropped. Samsung, try and call again. 0302 216 541. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Nana, please, Your Royal Highness.
Samson, let me hear you.
Akumkote.
Jamu kumujam.
We are supposed to run to our judicial court, but people prefer running to Ochinoko Show. But when you run to Joy FM also runs away. Instead of Joy FM holding you, looking at your issue, your case. So it's my opinion. Let's migrate the whites into the country, and our problems will be solved. But my fellow black men, Ethiopians, we can't change our skin color. God bless you, Nana.
God bless you too, my brother. 0302216541, and Joseph is on the line from Asofa. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Nana.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, I think the problem in the country is when a political party comes to power, the only thing that have seen is they think about winning power the next 4 years. So instead of implementing the laws or forcing the system to work, if they start doing something and the people will start resisting, then they will stop. And then everything will go back again. So Nana, please, I think you are doing a great and a good job. But the top hierarchy, they are not helping us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But Ivy is on the line. Hello, Ivy.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Ivy.
I've been listening for quite some time now, and then some of us, normally we don't like calling radio stations to talk. But then, so the people that we respect in this country, talk of a pastor that we all run to, will do this to us. What's going on? What happens? Like, if I get up and I also do something, like, would I also be arrested? Or bruh, my dream, somebody called and said patriotism or the love of God or whatever it is. But the person who is teaching us to love God is the person doing this to us now. And then this our politicians sitting in big cars and doing all the things that they like. I don't even know whether I should suggest or say something, but it's painful. If everybody should be regulated like you are saying, I think it would be better off. And then, for me, if we should go back to autocratic rule, I think it would be better. Yeah. Because God is democracy. Everybody thinks when I do something, the law is guiding me. I can say something, I can get a lawyer. But when it's autocratic rule and they say, when you put 10 pesos here, we arrest you. I think everybody will be on guard.
Thank you very much. Sometimes that's how the sentiments drive you to think. But Mystic is in a palm. Hello, Mystic.
Hello, my brother. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, we thank you so much for the wonderful job you are doing for Mother Ghana and the entire world.
Thank you.
Yeah, my brother, we are really living in a dangerous world. The way this country is going, and not just this country, the entire world, if we are not careful, our future is black. My brother, some people spoke about patriotism. I quite remember the days of Kwame Nkrumah. This issue of patriotism was instituted, and it was taught throughout. Like from, let's say, nursery, class 1, whatever, the issue of patriotism were in people. These days, we don't see those things. But, if you want to institute that, it will be a long-term procedure. What we do in the short term? The short-term issue is that when people go contrary to the rules and regulations of this country, they must be punished.
Thank you very much. And let me go to Teshim. Mami Efua is there. Hello, Mami Efua.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, Mami Efua.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have a personal experience I want to share too.
Make it brief for me.
Bank of Ghana and some of the auditing companies are part of our problems. I work with one of these financial institutions. They come every year to come and audit. They know the company is going down. And what they do is, actually, I don't know if the companies give them something, and when they get their small hampers or blah, 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 and then that is it. And then they give good reports. Meanwhile, they know very well what is wrong in the company. They know the management are not doing the right thing. But they still allow them to go ahead and do whatever they do, and they still give them the license to operate. None of you think it's fair. And we are being asked to go home empty-handed, not even a coin.
Very sad. And if you find your next job, they will deduct money for you to pay as well. Ellen is in Adenta. Whoa. Hello, Ellen.
Yes, Nana.
Yes, let me hear you, Ellen.
Nana, there's a problem. You see, I always think about this country, and I always think about our children and their future. Everything seems wrong. In fact, everything is going well. And I'm always asking myself that, what is wrong? Why can't we get anything right? I don't understand. From leadership right down to the bottom. Everything, every day, nothing we are doing in schools, whatever we are doing, development, everything is going wrong. Nothing, we seem not to get anything correct. Is that something we have done that we are not seeing to correct?
I think we need to find some. It's just strange that there's not one sector that we can boast of. That this sector, maybe Na knows. Hello, Na.
Hello, Nana.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is there a sector that you know that you can say, as for this sector, we are on point on it?
You know, recently, one of my sisters applied for the Ghana Police Service, and then I called someone, a big man, and I was like talking with him, and he was like, don't even bother letting your sister go through, because the politicians have already pushed their people into it. And I was like, wow, into the security system. And he was like, yes, that's what happens every time a politician is in. And I was like, what's happening? You put full soldiers into a security system just to protect your party. So you hear about armed robbery, and what you hear about a police officer or a security officer in the armed robbery. They are renting their guns and all that. And we stop being political in this country. Things should be working. How can we put full soldiers, people who we don't even know their backgrounds, into the security system? So what are we doing to ourselves?
Thank you very much. Now, all too soon, that's what time would allow us. But I want to say thank you very much to the Dodo Wahine Nene Okukrubuo Nene Tei Kwesi Ajimai Okukrubuo Nene Tei Kwesi Ajimai Dodo Wahine, who was at the house on Sunday. I want to say thank you to Kofi Ansah, who came to the house on Sunday with your missus. Thank you to Edem Naite. Thank you to Nana Obu II, the Okuapem Hima, the Asunahine, Okuapem Asunahine. I want to say thank you to Mrs. Konedu Ajiman Rollins. I want to say thank you to all of you who graced the Little Princess's 1 year on Sunday. Very beautiful. Grateful. I mean, there was many of you. I can do all the list now. Many of you. And I want to say big happy birthday to my mother, which falls on Wednesday. My Nana Sada Sumisa, happy 70th birthday. Can you believe my mother is going to turn 70 on Wednesday? So happy 70th birthday to my mother, Nana Sada Sumisa. But right on PM Express, I have Roxin Dafia Mepo, who will continue this issue. I mean, he's a legislator, so we are continuing this issue about regulation anxiety and hear from a legislator's point of view what he thinks is the problem and why we are here and heading the same path. Thank you very much. So happy birthday to the little princess, Princess Intimisa. And thank you to Awod Ansah for organizing a beautiful 1 year party for the little princess. So I would answer, thank you very much.
Eight o'clock.
Hello, you're welcome to the headline news at 8 with me, Ernest Min. Our police in the northern region have deployed armed police officers to the Tamale Teaching Hospital after some youth group linked to the NPP Kandahar Boys dragged the chief executive of the facility, Dr. David Akobila, out of office. They are also accusing him of sabotaging government. Northern Region Police PRO ASP Yusuf Tanko says the men will be on the ground to ensure the safety of the staff.
we deployed men on the ground. But unfortunately, before the men got there, the perpetrators had left the place. But as we speak, we've been able to secure the place, and our men have dominated the hospital. We are trying to locate the chief executive officer and the administrators and assure them of our security and protection, but we've not been able to do that now. We are also trying to get people to give us information on the perpetrators. As of now, we've not been able to identify them or link them to any group, but we are trying to get people who will assist us in that direction.
Now, John News can confirm that the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, has finally invited all individuals involved in the recent collapse of 5 indigenous banks for questioning. Those implicated in the Bank of Ghana examination report are expected to appear before EOCO this week. Joseph Opoku-Gato has more.
From what